another week later. We are now with the Ellie Naimel Talk Show. So we have another special guest that is going to join me on this topic and this conversation. So this guest is currently living in Khartoum, Sudan. In case I'm wrong, he'll correct me later. But we're going to touch up on the updates of what is going on in Africa there. In the last few weeks, I opened up the topic about poverty in Africa. Now, poverty in Africa, it has many different subtitles that are going on. First, what is poverty? Poverty is the way the leadership, the way the country is governed, that could lead people into lack of substance for themselves or to be able to take care of themselves and their needs as well. And majority of the time, because everything is controlled by the governor, the politicians, they depend their needs on the government as well. So these are some of the different issues that goes on under poverty, is how can people get out of the governance and the corrupt leadership so that they could be able to defend for themselves and also become independent for themselves in the land. As we are going forward now, it is 2021. We don't know what to expect with a lot of the corruption that is going on here in the United States, over there in Africa, and also even in China as well, in UK with all the massive lockdown that is taking place as well. But with the problems that has already been symptomatic in Africa, is how can people finally wake up out of it, because the things are only going to get worse as we go forward. A lot of things are only going to get worse. Politicians are only going to get worse. The leadership is only going to get worse. The finance system, the money that revolves around the world are only going to decline even more. So how can we encourage our people to continue to go forward and what they can do to prepare in the near future as well? But we'll start on with what is going on right now in Sudan there, and also South Sudan. We're going to cover a lot of different areas. So our special guest is going to come on, and we're going to introduce him. So Kai, how are you?
I'm fine, and you?
I am good. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. So, you know, it's good to have someone you can talk to about the things that are going on. So I really appreciate you joining me on this conversation. And so we can talk about what's going on in Africa. Since you're over there physically, you know more what is going on there in Africa. So you'll be able to either acknowledge or educate our audience in what they can hear from you as well. So we're going to start with the introduction. So please introduce yourself, who you are, and what do you do?
First of all, thank you so much, Afric Temple, for giving me this opportunity or making these joint conversations on what is taking place in Africa. I really appreciate, and I thank God also for joining us today. My name is Kai Tabgatchang. I'm a political activist and also a concerned citizen of Africa and a political activist of South Sudan, particularly in SPLM-IO. I joined this work since after the crisis that has left thousands of people dead in my country, South Sudan. So I was forced to be doing this job on the social media and all possible way that we can share our ideas. And currently I live in Sudan. The job that I'm doing here is raising the upcoming generation through education. I'm a teacher in high schools here in Sudan.
Wow, you have a very big role there, a teacher in South
Thank
Sudan.
you.
Yeah, that's a really good humanitarian role as well. People need that, and we need that in the world. All right, so I'm quite amazed to hear that. So you're one of the people who is part of the SPLM. So I'm very honored to finally get to talk to someone who experienced real life and real time event. So give us a little bit more information what it is and how does it play a role in the country? information what it is and what it is and how does it play a role in the country?
Well, uh, what we are facing here in Africa or Sudan in general, whether north or south, we do have these issues of poverty as you organize it to be the topic of today. It is very important to discuss this. It had been discussed in so many channels, but people are not vigilant to fight and defeat these kinds of things that are distracting Africa backward. But as an issue, as I held that I'm a concerned citizen of Africa, and I'm also one among the youth who are daily and night fighting in order to end the corruptions in Africa. So for us to handle poverty in Africa or in South Sudan or North Sudan, so it needs our citizens to know what is their right. The problem is from the government, not the people, because the governments are not separating themselves from the citizen. The citizens are seeking for just a matter of survival, but people are siding with their relatives who are politicians, and they don't accept the truth. So it is difficult, even though you can align or aware people about what is taking place and how can they know their right. Still, people will not listen to what you may be saying. So this what makes it difficult for us to handle these issues.
Wow. It is very challenging, especially when you have leaders that don't want to hear the truth at all. They don't want to hear the voices from these youth that are fighting day and night as well. So there's no way to solve a solution if they can't open their ears to the problem and their voices as well. So we're going to do our best to lay it out there, and hopefully, more voices can be heard, so that if God touches their heart and changes their heart in any way, to listen, because change does need to happen there. So with the youth that are fighting there, that are still dealing with the trauma of the Civil War and the problems that recently happened in the past 4 years in South Sudan, what are their challenges now that they are facing the most, besides trying to confront the leaders that are not even willing to listen to their voices?
Well, uh, about South Sudan, as you know, people are now working in what we call it peace. But based on us, according to our analysis, the peace is there, but it's just a matter of name. Because there was an agreement that was signed in Khartoum here in the year 2018, in which both the parties, the opposition that is us, we in the SPLMIO, and the other opposition parties, and the government itself, we have signed it here a peace that may bring to enhance the crisis that has taken place for years and have taken many lives, both civilians and the army in general. So now people are in Juba, including the opposition, the main opposition leader, Dr. Riek Machar, and the current first vice president of the Republic of South Sudan. So there is a challenge that is taking place because the peace agreement is not going according to what I've been signing. And I can highlight some few things on that, like security arrangement, which may be the first, which will grant the security for both the politicians and the citizens themselves, because now the most population of South Sudan or South Sudanese, they are living in IDPs or in camp, whether inside South Sudan or outside Sudan. You will find in many states like Upper Nile, Jonglei, and also you will find people in Unity State, and also in Wow, and so or the whole part of the country. People are living in IDPs. I'm not talking about here in Sudan, Ethiopia, or all the neighboring countries like Kenya and Uganda. You will find the refugees mostly are South Sudanese that had been displaced by the current war. The problem is that the peace is not going as it was planned or signed. But it is not the opposition side. The government are seem not to be ready for the peace that they have signed it with their hand as well.
So, what is their problem that we can all try to understand here? Because, like you said, the people are currently living in tents and has refugees in their own country, including other countries as well. So, if they sign the peace treaty, what is holding them back?
Well,
Are they still in the political battle between who wants to run the power? Sorry, guys, I think we had a network issue there, but he will come back shortly. But based on the information he just gives there, so there was a peace treaty that was signed in Sudan in 2018, and that peace sign has not been activated into action. So people are currently in 2021, as we speak, are living in tents in neighbors' countries. And not only that, the worst place you could ever be a refugee is your own country. And that is what's more shocking and devastating about this whole peace treaty, that is
hello?
not being activated to help
Yeah.
the people. All right, you are back
Hello?
on. Yes, yeah.
Sorry,
The
sorry,
network's in a buzz for a second. So now let's resume. So the peace agreement that was signed, are they still fighting on who is going to have the power? Is that the reason why they are not activating the peace agreement to start helping the people of the country?
Well, the problem is not yes, mostly the power sharing.
The power
The
sharing.
current
Okay, that's
yes,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
yes, the current issues now, which is not letting peace to proceed ahead.
Mm-hmm.
We are having a big issues like Haley mentioned it, the security arrangement, which is the first thing to be done for granting the politician to stay in the country
Mm-hmm.
and know who is protecting them,
Okay.
so that there will no fear, and also to grant the citizens
Mm-hmm.
to move freely wherever they want it, because the citizens of South Sudan have right to go wherever across the country.
Wow.
But now there's no grant for them to move uh, where they can go in
Mm-hmm.
order for them to do their daily businesses. And also, as I told you, that the agreement was signed, it's just a matter of implementing, because it was written in form of book with article that we should do this first and follow by that until the end. But this thing had been drawn and thrown off, and people are working just with what has come to mind. And this one seemed to be the government side. And the most obstacle now is also the appointment of the Upper Nile's governor,
Wow.
which is supposed to be appointed by the SPLMIO. And now the government is insisting, not accepting for the candidate of the SPLMIO, which is General Johnson Olun, to be appointed as the People's Governor of Upper Nile.
Mm-hmm.
So this one had been taken more than 4 months now. Still, there's no an appointment on him. You heard that, maybe you didn't heard about it. 1 week ago, the deputy governors or the six governors was appointed, and then the deputy governors also was appointed just days ago. But still, the governor of the Upper Nile is not yet appointed. We don't know what is the story behind this from the government side.
Wow. So when they signed the peace treaty, both leaders were there, right? They agreed. as
Yes,
any
now,
peace treaty.
and also they are all in Juba now currently. They live together in Juba, but no
Okay.
implementation of the peace.
Wow. Yeah, this is the evil part of the politician because that is being selfish, very selfish. So it looks like the politicians are trying to serve themselves first before they can proceed to serve the citizens of the country, which doesn't really work out that way because it only continue to build up chaos and upsets the people, you know. And they're not looking into how long they're going to continue to fight among themselves until they can give the people what they need, because it's been 4 years now, right? So 4 years is a lot of time or for the peace treaty to even be signed or taken place afterwards. So give us a little bit more information. So what are the youth doing now? The ones that are they feeling impatient, or what can we expect? Because it takes a lot of patience to wait on these politicians.
Thank you very much for the questions.
Mm-hmm.
What I can tell, yes, for sure, the youth are the future of this nation.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem, what is facing the youth now, the youth are divided politically also, as I told
Oh my
you.
God.
The youth are divided among the politicians, in which each politician have got his own follower. As I'm speaking to you now, I may be speaking on behalf of the youth of South Sudan.
Mm-hmm.
But people will define me as a person who having sided with other politicians. Even though if I'm telling the truth,
Mm-hmm.
nobody will listen
They
to
won't
me.
listen. Yeah.
If the youth, yes, if the youth were well organized, the issues or the matter would be had been easy long ago, because the voice of the youth is very important, could be heard by the world, or maybe even could be supported by so many, whether in the
Yes.
region or within the country itself. But the youth doesn't know their powers, that they're having the power to lead the country
Mm-hmm.
or to express their own voice that could be leading to the successful of leading the people into the well-organized government that may be concerning with its citizens.
Wow. And how can we encourage them to know that they have the potential to become leaders one day and that they can make those changes happen themselves? Because it is the youth that's going to change the country. These corrupt leaders are already so far corrupted, they are just only going to make things worse. Now, the hope of the country is in the youth. So how can we encourage those youth to know that you can become a leader? Work on this, establish on this, work on building yourself so that you can take over those places.
Well, to encourage the youth, like I told you earlier, that only through this platform like we are doing now,
Mm-hmm.
or via others like Facebook, somebody like me or somebody else
Yeah.
could have organized his own thoughts and
Mm.
writing an article, and this article may be intellectual
Yeah.
with different ideas that your readers could have read it,
Mm-hmm.
and then the person who may have sense may have get it, because there is no organization that unite the youth to come together and address them. Like
Yeah.
I earlier tell you now that youth are is scattered in different countries.
Yeah.
Some are here, some are living in diaspora, in a place like you have,
Mm-hmm.
and then also the rest are in South Sudan.
Yeah.
So there is no common platform that unite the youth so that people will come together and listen to what is important for them.
It's very shocking to find out that we even have two that are in Tunisia, which is a country you don't hear very much of our people, being a refugee there or, escaping the hardship. Um, but I know many youth have started to come forward to tell their story and to also explain their experience and the trauma they went through and what they want to do to change their lives and what they can do to better the future as well. I know sometimes, when things get really bad in the political world, that sometimes the only way to overthrow to overthrow the government, to overthrow the government. But they're working on a deeper strategy to divide the youth so that one day they cannot unite enough to overthrow the government. Because if the youth unite and they work together, they have a greater power than the politicians there. And I know it could be a very, it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage to bring change, to develop change to a country. So it's definitely going to take a lot of work, and hopefully there'll be more mentor out there that can help and continue to encourage the youth. So now to go a little bit forward. So you're a teacher. We're kind of on a network, Skype skeptical there, but he announced that he's a teacher, so I really appreciate that. We need more teachers that can be out there to educate the mind of these youth so they can learn from something, they can grow up. Because in a such world like South Sudan, everything is all politic. The youth is pretty much have nothing else to join but to join politic, okay? But if you're not educated on other development or worldly things that you could do and all you know is politics, once you grow up and you're ready to join the political world, you're just going to be a typical politician. So a typical politician is always after what benefits them. They could care less about anyone else, okay? That's a typical politician. But a person who jumps into politics to make a change will fight many battles in that political regime to try to change the corrupt that took in, Like I said, in order to remove the bad seeds from the good seeds, first let it grow. And then once the harvesting time comes, you can remove the bad seed and take out the good seeds, okay? Because when you're harvesting your field or you're taking out your fruits, you're going to take the good seeds that are good for you. And then you're going to remove the bad seed that would destroy the good seeds. So that's what's happening there in such situation like South Sudan, where the corrupt leaders have taken so much control in what people do and also how people think, and to also affect the future generation that would take over this country. So now in order to remove some of those bad seeds that have been implemented in their mind is to get them to acknowledge their potential. Every youth, this is the moment to know your potential. Look deep inside who you are, okay? You are not the person you are created to be by the politician. Politicians are politicians, okay? But as a human being, you have your own rights, you have your own will, you have your own faith. You have something that you believe in. You have a duty, you have a calling. And anything that you can figure out within yourself, it is something you can use to build your country, to build your nation and your economy as well. So that's my best message of encouragement that I could tell our youth right now as we continue to get our guest set up here and get him back on to the conversation. Okay, now I can hear you. All right. So while you had an internet issue, so I just gave a short message there. So now we're going to jump a little bit to the next subject you mentioned earlier. So Chilari, you're a teacher, and that's your profession right now is you're teaching in school. So tell us a little bit more about your teaching job. How's that going there? The education that these youth are going to benefit from in order to be a change in the future.
Yes, thank you so much. Teaching is what I like it so much. Mm-hmm. And this is the only tools that can change Africa. Why do I say so? We as the teachers, we teach the youngest generation to forget about what our politicians are encouraging them to do. Amen. They are born to lead the country. They are born differently. They are having their own times. They shouldn't follow what they are seeing, whether at homes or the environment that is surrounding them. We teach the youngest generation to have their own thinking, that they could not be like us currently or the past.
Wow.
So teaching or education is the only thing that can change poverty in Africa or even the divided community that are living. So we told them that forget about tribalisms and also about nepotisms, clanisms, or even the tribe in general or
Tribalism.
ethnicity. Yes. So we should talk as Africans, we should love one another, or we should be living as Sudanese or South Sudanese. That is what will unite us.
Yes.
So because we will never benefit in dividing political, so I can concentrate on my own community, but it will never take me anywhere until I join myself with other sectors so that we can succeed together as Africa or as South Sudanese in particular.
Wow. Great statement there. And God bless you. Because what you're doing there is a life changing, it's a complete life changing. Because the way the country will become starts with that education. What is being taught to the people? What are they being forced to believe or accept? So that's a big job you're doing there. It really is. So we're really proud of you, and I'm very happy to hear that today. But now we're coming to the end of our live stream, so I'm gonna have you give out, your what would be the most important message everyone can hear from you at this moment. What message would you like to give out, whether it's to the youth or it's to the rest of the community? And you can either use English or Nuer, whichever, or Arabic, whichever message will get out there more.
Well, I will still continue my giving my message in English also because I want to give this message not only to Africa or to us in this studio, but to the world, particularly the youth and the politicians. To our politicians, they should know that our goal in this world is to let the upcoming generation more better than you who are bringing them up. They should know that we have right for them to give us or to lead us in a positive way, not dividing us. This message is to our politicians and to our youth, is for them to know that we are having long times. We are the very peoples that will lead our nations ahead of us because we have the responsibility that our footsteps should be followed by the upcoming generation. We are the generation that will push our countries ahead. And to begin these ones, we must having peace, because peace is the starting of every positivity of a life. We cannot do anything without having peace. Peace in mind, peace in our lives, peace in our communities, peace in our countries, so that after peace will come love. We love one another. If I succeed, you should appreciate me instead of dragging me down. So, or supporting one another. My success is your success and the success of the world in general. Peace in the world, peace in Africa, peace in our homes. I think this is very important because when we define peace, we talk about peace, but we don't accept peace to be within us. Peace is just a simple thing that people are talking about, but it is difficult for people to have it, whether in one cell or in our neighborhood. So these are the things that I could have tell the world, that let the world live in real peace, not just a fake peace that because people are talking opposite. We say yes when we really mean no. We say peace and then we really mean opposite to that. People are going to war and then we claim that we are having peace, like what is taking place in Africa or in Sudan. People are living in peace time, but we really are in wartime, even though if there is no guns on, but it is really a war because nothing is taking place positively. You know?
Wow, that
And
was an amazing message.
also, I would really appreciate you guys that this program that you are doing, I would encourage you that continue with it. And then you should have engaged so many youth across the Africa or the world in general. It is very good idea, and then I praise to God to give you more wisdom so that you could engage you so that they will realize their potential in order for our world to live in a real peace. And we must put God first because nothing will work without putting God first. The world is now currently messing because we forgot the Creator. Because if we know the Creator, we should know our own aim in this world also. These are the pure message or the word I would share with you in the last minute of our conversation.
That was amazing because without God, nothing is possible. And I like that, you know, you're pointing out about peace. People don't understand what peace is and that it starts within yourself. So that was a great message. And peace is something that you need within yourself, and then it transpire and become a light to others as well. So that's a great way to start. Well, this has been a wonderful interview. It has been an amazing having you here so the world can hear your view and what you want to share out there. So may God continue to bless you in educating these youth as much as you can as a teacher, and to continue fighting for them by telling them the truth. And you know, we never give up on truth, no matter how many times they reject it. You know, like God said, that same person could be told the same truth by 10 other people, but maybe the 11th person, he'll believe it. You know. So we don't give up on each other. We keep telling them, and we do not condemn or judge them because they don't want to accept your opinions or the truth or whatever. So communication is everything. And, you know, all of this, people will rise. People will rise. The more they listen to this, people will rise. They will find motivation and they will find determination. So let's give out your last information. How can people reach out to you if they want to talk to you? I know you have a Facebook, or do you have some kind of a platform that they can reach out to you for?
Yeah, people could reach me on Facebook. I also have Twitter accounts. I also have Instagrams, and I also have WhatsApp, and I also have email. I think the possible account that the world is currently using, I do have them all.
Yeah.
Like I have mentioned earlier, Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, Twitter, and also WhatsApp.
Okay.
And I'm always available at any times a person want to contact me. My email is ktg673 at gmail.com. Twitter names Kaitab Gatchang. Facebook name Kaitab G. And my WhatsApp same Kaitab as well. And my Skype name kai.tab.gatchang. Those are the names that I use in the platform that I have mentioned. I think these are the possible platform that a person can reach me at any times. They have being interest to interact with me and hear what I have at the time they need.
All right, there you have it, you guys. So that's the way to reach out to him. You know, he's a teacher. So if you have any question or you have any problem that you are dealing in your life, whether you are a victim of the past or the war zone that is going on, like he said, right now we're still at war mentally. It may not be gun sound or gunshots, but mentally we are still at war. So if you're fighting your life, you're trying to figure out who you are, these are his information. I will also attach it on the link under this live stream as well, so you'll have an easier way to contact him and communicate with him. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate. state. So Kai is going to help you with whatever questions you may have relating to, poverty issue and rising up and becoming a better leader for Africa as well. So Kai, I just want to say thank you so much. I truly appreciate you being on here. I know we're going to have many topics going forward, so I'm going to bring you back on in the near future, and we're going to talk about other things as well that are going on in Sudan, South Sudan, in all the regions that you are working in.
Thank you so much.
All right. You have a wonderful night, and have a wonderful night, everyone.
Hot mix mixing.